Hi, thanks for joining me today. We're going to work on some simple but not necessarily easy poses to help us connect with our core. And the first thing we're going to do is to sit for just a few minutes and focus on our breath, because our breathing is a big part of our connection with our core. So if you have something to sit up on, I have a folded up blanket here, or you can use a firm cushion or anything that helps to lift the hips a little higher and to help bring your spine to neutral position for the spine. So lift the sit bones up onto whatever you have to sit on. Find a nice length in your spine. Think of the collarbones being nice and wide, lengthen up through the crown of the head. Make sure the head is right on top of the spine. With all of our tech work, we have a tendency to let the head drop forward. So think of drawing the chin slightly back so the head is balanced right on top of the spine. Let the hands rest comfortably on your thighs, elbows dropping in towards the waist, towards the ribs, palms up or down. And you can, for this first part as we focus on the breath, you can keep your eyes open. Think of a soft gaze with the eyes. You can take your gaze gently down. Think of looking down past the nose without letting the head drop. So just think of dropping the eyes, or you can close the eyes if you're comfortable with that. But just take a few moments to just make sure that you feel comfortable and you have that neutral spine. Make any adjustments that you need to do with the body. And then just begin to notice your breath, just the natural rhythm and flow of the breath right now. Breathe gently in and out of the nose. And then gradually begin to let your inhales get a little deeper and your exhales get a little longer. So as you take your next breath in, think of letting the breath drop all the way down into the bottom of the lungs. As you exhale, draw the belly towards the spine, engaging the abdominal muscles and the diaphragm to help the breath release. So we've already started to work a little bit with those core muscles. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. So keep that going. Think of filling the lungs from the bottom to the top as you inhale. Emptying the lungs from the top to the bottom as you exhale. And then begin to expand. Think of expanding the breath a little bit more. So thinking of breathing into all four sides of the torso. So as you inhale, see if you can feel the front, the sides, and the back of the body expand. And then as you exhale, slowly release that and think of all of those muscles, front, back, and sides of the body kind of hugging in towards the spine, in towards your core. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. So as we move through these poses today, these yoga asanas, we want to keep that steady flow of the breath, because again, that breath helps to support our core. So very gently let the eyes open, fingertips out by your side. And we'll do just a few things to warm up. So inhale, float the arms all the way up and overhead, reaching up through the fingertips. As you exhale, twist to your right, let the left hand come in front, the right hand come behind you. So think of twisting from these core muscles here. So inhale, float the arms all the way up and overhead. And then exhale, twist to your left. Right hand in front, left hand behind you. So again, think of initiating that from your core. Inhale, arms floating all the way up and overhead. And then exhale, twisting to the right. Those internal and external oblique muscles that wrap around the torso help us twist. Inhale, float the arms all the way up and overhead. And one more time, exhaling, twisting to the left. And then inhale all the way back up to center. Bring the palms together, bring the hands to the heart. And we're going to come to a tabletop position, to all fours. So whatever you were seated on, just move that out of the way. And as you come to all fours, we want to set up our foundation just like we did in that seated foundation. Spreading the fingers wide, the wrist under the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips. Think of drawing the lowest ribs towards the hips, so that we find this nice core here. Think of the chin drawing towards the collarbones. We're not letting the head sag down. We're lengthening through the crown of the head. And sometimes that can be a little interesting to see with my curly hair here, but you want to think of that nice neutral position of the neck and of the spine. And then warming up the spine a little bit, exhale, pressing into the hands and the feet, round the spine, up towards the ceiling, up towards the sky, arching the back, really engaging those abdominal muscles. And then inhale, sending the sit bones back, lengthen the front of the body, take the gaze forward and up. So now we're contracting and engaging the muscles in the back of the body. So keep that going with the breath. Exhale, pressing away from the mat, rounding the spine. And inhale, sending the sit bones back, lengthening the front of the body. Think of the belly dropping down towards the mat, lifting up and out of the crown of the head. So do that a couple more times. Exhale and inhale. Good. Once more, exhaling and inhale. And then this time as you exhale, come back to neutral, back to your table pose. And now bring the hands in front of the shoulders. Really think of pressing into the fingertips and the base of the knuckles. Curl the toes under. Lift the knees just a couple inches off the mat. And then send your sit bones up and back. Come to a bent knee, downward facing dog. Again, nice length of the spine. Draw the lowest ribs towards the hips. So we're not letting the core sag here. We're keeping that engagement of the muscles in the front and the back and the sides of the body. Inhale and exhale. If you'd like, you can do a little pedaling of the feet here, bringing a little bit more weight down into one heel as you straighten the leg. Get a nice stretch there, and then bend that knee and switch to the opposite leg. Make sure you're breathing. Inhale and exhale. And then very gently release the knees down to the mat just for a transition. Uncurl the toes. Exhale, fold back to child pose. Take a big breath here. Breathe into the back of the body. Exhale, let the body release and relax. You can always prop something under the head if you need for some support, folding up your hands, stacking them, or even a book, a couple books, or a pillow, or a yoga block. Inhale and exhale. And then bringing the hands back out. If you were using them for a little cushion, come back up to your table pose. And now looking in your table pose, looking at where the hands are, we're going to bring the elbows down directly where the hands were. So we are having this alignment of the elbow now under the shoulder. If you reach for opposite elbows, you should be able to just bring those top two knuckles of the hands, fingers just to the outside edges of the elbows, and then bring the arms back out. So you can either keep the forearms parallel, or you can interlace the fingers. We're going to come into an elbow plank pose here. So extend the right leg back and the left leg back. So think of lengthening through the crown of the head. Think of drawing the lowest ribs towards the hips. You can always bring your knees down to the mat for a little bit more support for your lower back. Inhale and exhale. Then roll a little forward across the toes. Send your torso a little forward, and then come back, and then roll a little forward and press back through the heels. One more time, roll a little forward, press back through the heels. Feel those core muscles engaged. Make sure you're breathing. Another option here, if you'd like, you can lift the right leg for a breath. Inhale and exhale. Lower the right leg down. Inhale, lift the left leg. And lower down. Good. One more time each side. Or again, maybe your knees are down on the mat. Maybe you're just holding here. Inhale, lifting the right leg. Press through the heel. Lower down. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, lower down. Now release the knees down to the mat. Release the hands. Once again, just fold back to that child pose for a breath. Exhale back. Inhale, come back up to your table pose. So this time we're going to set up for a traditional plank pose. So wrist under the shoulders, extend the right leg back and the left leg back. So find that core connection, find your breath. Inhale and exhale. So we don't want to be sagging into the shoulders. So you want to think of pressing up and think of lifting the heart towards the back of the body. So we're not letting our shoulders and upper body collapse down, and we're not letting our hips collapse down. We're keeping that nice length here. Now, nice deep inhale. As you exhale, send your hips up and back. Come to downward facing dog. You can bend the knees or straighten the legs, whatever feels good. And then inhale, come back forward. So we have to control that descent into that plank pose so we don't sag down. And then exhale, draw the lower belly in and up. Sit bones up and back, back to that downward facing dog. And then one more time, inhale, come back forward to your plank pose. And then exhaling to that downward facing dog. And then this time, really bend your knees, and we're going to walk the hands back towards the feet. Come to a standing forward bend. You can take hold of opposite elbows with the crown of the head dangle down. Nice stretch for the back of the body. You can do a little swing and sway of the body side to side if you'd like. Inhale and exhale. And then coming back to center, bring the hands to the hinge of the hip, draw the shoulder blades together, lengthen through the crown of the head, press into the feet, come all the way up to stand. Once you come up to standing, come to your mountain pose, so feet hip distance apart. So think of, again, that same alignment that we found seated and then we found when we were on all fours. So spread the toes. Sometimes it helps if you spread the fingers too. Lift the toes up off the mat, place the toes down. Think of lifting the inner arch of the foot and the kneecaps. The tailbone is lengthening, and think of the tailbone being heavy, sternum lifting. Again, head balanced right on top of the spine. And then inhale the arms all the way up and overhead. As you exhale, same thing we did seated, we're going to twist to the right. Left hand comes in front, right hand comes behind you. So we're twisting from these core muscles. Inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, twisting to your left. Inhale, come back up to center. Once again, exhale, twist to your right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twisting to your left. And back to center. Now this time, we're going to exhale, bend the knees out over the toes, sit bones behind you, chair pose, and then twist to your left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twisting to your right. Inhale, back to center. One more time each side. Exhale, twisting to your left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twisting to your right. Come back to center. Press into the feet. Inhale, come all the way up, keeping those arms extended up. Again, we're working on not only core, but think of lengthening those core muscles. Inhale and exhale. Now find a focal point, something to gently gaze at. We're going to do a little balancing here. So bring weight into your right foot, lift the left heel, and then just inhale, lift the left leg up, one-legged mountain pose. Inhale and exhale, lower that left leg back down, and then lift the right heel. See if you can keep all of these muscles engaged, and we're not letting that hip swing out to the side. Lift the right leg up. Inhale and exhale. Release the right leg back down. Find your mountain pose, and then lift the left heel. Lift that left leg up. Inhale and exhale. Release the left leg down. Arms, you might be feeling that in the arms now. So inhale, lift the right heel. Lift the right leg up. And then exhale, release that down. Inhale, reach up through the fingertips, lift the heart and the sternum, and then exhale, float the arms back down by your side. Bring the hands to the heart. Close the eyes for a moment. Just check in with your breath. Check in with your core, your center. How do you feel? Inhale and exhale, and then very gently let the eyes open. So thank you for playing along with me today and doing some work for engaging our core muscles, connecting with our core. And again, for those of you who ride, very important in the saddle to have that strong, stable core. As you know, as you're moving on, riding on a moving animal, that's hard to keep. So anytime we can work on our core, that is helpful. So give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Please subscribe to my channel, and in the information section below, check out Grey Horse Yoga and the yoga classes that I offer there. I hope to see you sometime soon in the saddle or on the mat. Thanks. Bye-bye.